Ladies and gentlemen, I see some familiar faces, but I think I don't know many of you, which means many of you don't know me back. I am the founder and managing director of B2B Encounters company. This is a project. We do basically two things. We organize small focus events on medical tourism. They are more like workshops, networking workshops between buyers and suppliers of medical tourism. We have organized 11 international events so far. I think ours is the longest running medical tourism event, although it's not a big one, but it has been repeated many times. So I don't think any other events have been organized this many times. And when we do this, we build networks between medical tourism suppliers. There's translation. Am I too fast for you? Okay. Okay, I take it slow. Okay. I didn't notice that there's simultaneous translation. What we do is we build networks between facilitators of medical tourism from different regions. And this gave us the opportunity to observe and to learn, to grow a know-how about how cooperations in medical tourism start and how they grow, why they do not. So with this know-how and with this know-who, we started a second category of service, which is consulting for marketing. We give consultancy services to some hospitals in Europe and in the Middle East. We have in the past worked with Humanitas Group from Italy, and now we are consulting Grupo Villa Maria hospitals for their international department. We have a client in Spain. It's called Water Health. It's a surgery and thermal therapy center. We look for patients for them from Northern Europe. And we have two clients based in Israel. They are public hospitals doing medical tourism. So we find doctors and facilitators for them who bring patients to Israel, mainly from Russian-speaking geography. So we are a small company, but we have a few experts in the team from different regions, and each expert focuses on her own region. And I personally, as the, let's say, leading expert, I focus on Eastern Europe and the Balkans. This is my specialty, and this is my presentation today. I assume most of you are from Italian hospitals. Am I right? I mean, I think I see marketing people from Italian hospitals here. So I will always put my focus on what Italian hospitals should do for marketing in the Eastern Europe. Okay, let me start the presentation with a short story. It's a story about a small town and a small church. In this church, there is a very good priest. Let's call him Alessandro, Padre Alessandro. Okay, Alessandro is a very good man. He's a man of faith. He does nothing but he prays all day. He does good things. He never does bad things. He's a man of God. He believes God loves him. He loves God. And one day something happens in this town. It starts raining. It rains cats and dogs. It rains like crazy. All the streets are covered with water. It's heavy flooding. People of the town, they are leaving the town. They leave the town. They evacuate the whole city. But Padre Alessandro stays in the church. He says, I'm safe here. It's the house of God, and I'm a good priest. God will come and save me. He'll send something to save me. It keeps raining. They come to help Padre. They invite him. They tell him, come with us. We should evacuate you. He says, no, my children, go. I'm safe here. God is going to save me. I'm okay. Then it keeps raining. They leave. Then there is more water coming into the church. So the father has to go upstairs to the roof of the church. Then another evacuation team come, and they come with a boat. They call the priest. They tell him, Padre, come now, because we may not be able to come back again. We have to save you now. He says, no, my children, save yourselves. God is going to save me somehow. I'm a good man of God. He doesn't come. They leave, and then it keeps raining. Can you see it? Yeah. Yes. It keeps raining. They leave him for the third time. They come with a helicopter. He doesn't want to be saved. He says, go. God will find a way to save me. I won't die here. I'm okay. They leave. It keeps raining, and Padre dies. He drowns. And he goes to heaven. I'm sure you know the story. He goes to heaven. He sees God. He tells God, Father, why did you leave me? I have been a very good priest. I have done nothing wrong. I am almost a saint. Why did you not save me? And God says, my son, I sent you 3 evacuation teams. I sent you a boat, a helicopter. You didn't take them. How else? What else should I do? So the motto of the story is that sometimes solutions to our problems are so simple, just in front of us, we don't see them. We expect solutions from the sky. We expect miracles. This is the case for medical tourism marketing in Italy. All Italian hospitals, there is a very simple solution in front of you, just in front of your eyes, because you expect something from far, far away, from China, from Russia, from Middle East. Okay, there is potential in these places. I don't deny it. But you have to spend so much money to market in Russia or in Middle East. I don't know if my colleagues will agree, because there is so much competition for these markets. Turkey is competing, Israel and Germany are competing for the Russian market, and for Middle East there are many other competitors, and you have to spend a lot of time, energy, money, but you want difficult results. I mean, you want to achieve difficult results and you want to be a hero, but just in front of you is the simple solution, Eastern Europe. I come to Italy very often. I worked with Humanitas hospitals in the past. I am now working with Gruppo Villa Maria. Each time I visit an Italian hospital, I see at least 2 or 3 Albanian patients, at least 1 or 2 Romanian patients who come individually, by themselves, on their own. Why don't you see it? This is your market. They are already here. Take it from this simple amateur stage to a more professional marketing level, and you have the easy fruits to pick up. Why do you have to spend all that money on USA, which is very hard? Anyway, let's look at Eastern Europe. It's a big region. When we talk about Eastern Europe, we also talk about countries like Ukraine, Belarus, Moldova. Even Russia is Eastern Europe. But because they speak Russian, and because they are members of the CIS agreement, they are ex-Soviet, so for the sake of this presentation, let's ignore them. Because they belong to another region. My colleague, Dr. Pata, is going to speak about CIS. So, which other countries do we have left? We have the second category of Eastern Europe, which is Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Hungary. These countries are actually not patient-sending countries, they are more patient-receiving countries. They get patients from Germany, from the United Kingdom. There are not many facilitators in these countries who are involved in sending patients outbound. But there are some that I know they are focused on inbound medical tourism. I am not telling you that it's not possible to get patients from these 4 countries. It is possible, but it's again a more expensive and more expensive method, and you need to spend more time on that. Some patients from these countries, on their own, they go to Germany. They drive to Germany individually. They get treatment in Germany. So the third category of Eastern Europe are these countries. We call them the Balkans. We have Serbia, we have Bosnia, we have Bulgaria, Romania, Montenegro, Macedonia, Kosovo, and Croatia. So these are neighbors to Italy. And I know that this is the main market for Italy, because there is a big Albanian community living in Italy. I don't know the numbers exactly, but my Albanian colleagues here, they estimate more than 500,000 of Albanians live in Italy already. So you know, medical tourism is also how it works. I mean, if an individual patient needs treatment somewhere, they call their uncle in that country, or they call their sister who lives in that country. So the Albanian community here, or you have Romanians, a big community of Romanians, they refer patients without asking for a commission. It's just recommendation. They live here. Okay. So what's happening in these countries? Let's have a look at them. majority of the medical tourism in this region is domestic. So I would call it inter-regional. They send patients to each other. The reason is there used to be a very big country here called Yugoslavia, not long ago, maybe 20 years ago. And they had the civil war, and Yugoslavia is divided into 7, 8 small countries. But still, these people in these countries, they speak the same language. Okay, they have their own native languages, but they all speak the common language of Yugoslavia still. Doctors in these countries, they studied together. So the professors, they know each other. And each one of these small countries, they have leftovers of medical infrastructure. Let's say a hospital is left in Serbia, but the physicians, doctors working for that hospital are now in Croatia or they are in Bosnia. Or the technology is somewhere, the team is somewhere. So they have to cooperate for medicine with each other. Also because of cultural proximity, they still send patients to each other on an unprofessional basis. Nobody makes money out of it. But if a clinic in Macedonia needs a special surgery and they know the professor in Serbia who is doing that, they send the patient to that professor, and the estimated revenue generated by this domestic medical tourism traffic in the Balkans is around 100 million euros a year. But this is just an estimation. I always avoid giving precise numbers. In medical tourism, it's a problem. My dear colleague, Mr. Keith Pollard, always talks about it. He says how difficult it is to measure the figures in medical tourism, so I am trying to avoid giving certain numbers. This is just an estimation, not a scientific data. Okay, what do they do? This traffic inside the Balkans, we should observe it. We should see what sort of procedures go from where to where. This will give us an idea about what we can do in Italy, because they are already foreign countries for each other. If a Bosnian doctor can refer patients to a Macedonian hospital, this Bosnian doctor can refer patients to an Italian hospital. They pay, it's the same, it's international already. So we should first start by observing this. This is another program. We can do it. I mean, my company, we do it already, and we can work on it together if anybody is interested. But if they don't stay inside their region, they go to mainly these destinations. Austria and Germany in the north, but mostly Austria is the main destination. And Austria doesn't do almost any marketing in the Balkans. They just have a medical reputation. They have a good quality, medical quality. Their medical quality level is well known. So they receive patient recommendations from governments of small Balkan countries. Italy can be equivalent to Austria, because you have the similar medical quality. Turkey is the second destination. Turkey is a cultural neighbor to these countries. In each one of these Balkan countries, there is a Muslim minority, and most of them speak Turkish. They watch Turkish TV. They have relatives in Turkey. They have brothers and sisters, someone living in Turkey, so they come to Turkey on their own. Also, Turkish government helps Turkish hospitals to establish offices and diagnostic centers in the Balkan countries. So these points of contact, they refer patients to Turkey. This is what Turkey does. And Greece is coming up. It's emerging. Greece always received some patients, especially from Macedonia and Albania. But now, with the economic crisis in Greece, the prices of medicine has decreased. There is a drop of treatments, I mean the cost of treatments. So they started receiving more patients from the Balkan region. Okay, so now what can Italy do? Now, another slide. Okay, what goes out? These are the most common procedures that are going out from the Balkans. Oncological procedures, including chemotherapy. This is interesting. I was surprised to see this, because they don't believe in the quality of local medicine. And they don't believe in the expertise of the local physicians, so they even take chemotherapy abroad. But radiotherapy is decreasing because radiotherapy, they have now local solutions. Some Turkish hospitals have built facilities in the Balkans, and they are building themselves, so they have local solutions for radiotherapy. But they go a lot for other medical oncology. Gamma knife or robotic surgery, these are technology-oriented products, technology-oriented medicine. Balkans, some countries don't have this technology, or they just don't have the experienced medical team to use this technology. Then neurosurgery and pediatric surgeries, these are experience-oriented procedures. They have very good doctors in the Balkans, but the populations are small, so the doctors don't see many patients. The experience of a doctor is not counted by years. You can count it by the number of patients they see. That's why they have very good doctors in India. Americans invent a new medical technology, but Indians do it better next year, because an American doctor can see 10 patients a month. An Indian doctor can see 10 patients a week, maybe 20 a week, so he practices more. So this is if we are talking about experienced doctors, they are less available in the Balkans, but they are more available in Italy. So this is an advantage. They go for organ transplantations. This is again government involved. It requires government involvement. And bone marrow transplantations are in the same category. Here are some recommendations for Italian hospitals. If I were the marketing manager of an Italian hospital, what would I do to market in Eastern Europe and the Balkans? I would first copy the methods of my competitors. What is Turkey doing? Opening offices in the Balkans, opening representation offices, employing doctors, general practitioners working for you, visiting local medical society every day for you. So you can develop D2D, doctor-to-doctor programs. You can train postgraduate doctors. You can do CME, continued medical education programs. Because doctors, when they come and get training in your country, and if they like the level, if they enjoy the level of medicine, if they know in person the professors who are their instructors, they cooperate when they go back. This is how medicine comes from Balkans. I would do B2G, business to government projects. I would visit healthcare ministries or governmental funds of many countries. For end consumers, for the patients themselves, you can do some PR campaigns. It's very cheap in the Balkans. These are very inexpensive countries. By spending, let's say, 10,000 euros, 20,000 euros, you can be very famous in a Balkan country in a short time. It's just advertising on media, on conventional media. I have already mentioned this before. I would work with the Balkan diaspora in Italy. I would go to the community leaders of the Albanians, the Romanians, Bosnians. You have Bosnians living in Italy. I would speak to them. I would make marketing in Italy for the people, immigrants, for the residents living in Italy from these countries. Because they are #1 patient referring source for individual patients. And they do it on voluntary basis. I would employ more multilingual staff in my team. I don't want to use stereotypes, but we always make some jokes about Italy, how Italians don't speak much English. It's not the case anymore. Now, many Italians speak very good English. But still, medical tourism needs highly sophisticated teams. In Spain, in Turkey, in Israel, the marketing teams of hospitals, they speak many languages. So you can easily employ people speaking Balkan languages in your team, and they are available here. Okay, what should Italy not do? If I were a marketing manager of a hospital, of a clinic in Italy, I would not try to expect meeting facilitators easily and expect them to send me patients. I promise you this is not going to work. I mean, I have been working with medical tourism buyers for many years now. There is no such thing as a medical tourism buyer who buys immediately. You meet someone, next week he gives you 20 patients. No, this does not work this way. And in the Balkans especially, it does not work that way at all. You need facilitators as your local partners. But facilitators don't have the power to find the patients for you. You should find your patients. You need them to lubricate the process of cooperating with that country, with the government, with the individual patients. So you need a local point of contact. Facilitators are for that reason. Don't go into price competition. You cannot compete with Greece or Turkey, but you can compete with Vienna, with Austria, if you go into competition, if you enter the competition with your medical quality. Put the emphasis on this. Emphasize your medical quality, not the prices. Online marketing is very effective in Russia, in some countries, in CIS, I mean social media or Google AdWords, Yandex AdWords, it's very effective. It is not that accurate in the Balkans. It works, but it's not that effective. Offline marketing methods are more accurate in the Balkans. And last but not the least, please do not look down upon the medical quality in the Balkans, in Eastern Europe. They have very good hospitals too. I mean, it's not, you shouldn't approach them by saying, okay, you don't have good medicine, we have good medicine. No, this is not the case. They really have some very good facilities, they really have very good doctors, but even in Croatia, it's a competition to Italy, actually. They receive patients now, but they cannot do organ transplantations, bone marrow transplantations. So they have to send. Look for what they need, what they cannot do, and offer a solution for that. I thank you for listening to me, and I think I should stop here and wait for your instructions for the next presentation. Thank you.